Hi, this is Patty, evolutionary astrologer from the Netherlands at pattypost.nl/en, and this is the astrology for September 2019. So September is upon us, and that means here in the Northern Hemisphere that summer is over. At least that is what meteorologists tell us. The astronomers and astrologers always stretch the summer for a few weeks. That's because of we astrologers work seasonally with the signs. And to be honest, that vision suits me so much better, and I bet it does you too. We have a great back to work energy when we start off this month. At the first 3 days of September, we have the Sun and Mars together in Virgo. Now, for a lot of people, summer vacation is over, and probably there is at least a part in you somewhere that likes to get back to it, back to work. And you will love the first days of September since it's great energy to roll up your sleeves and get to work. Mars gives us the vigor, the willpower, and so if you have something going that you really want to progress on, now is your time. Virgo always helps us to get clarity, to see things without rose-colored glasses, really seeing how things are and where you may be headed. Always be careful of the pitfall of Virgo, which is, and it's not good enough. Yes, it can always be better, but it's the joy of growth and not so much, oh, it's not good enough. Always keep that in mind with Virgo energy. And on the 3rd of September, also Mercury joins this Virgo party with the Sun and Mars. And this can help us to work out ideas mind, that is Mercury, really practical energy. And so a lovely start of the month with lots of opportunities for some good Virgo efficiency and effectivity. Then on the 14th of September at 6:32 in the morning European time and 9:32 Pacific time on the 13th, so a day before, we have the full moon at 21 degrees and 5 minutes of the sign of Pisces. Now, Pisces is the most sensitive of the zodiac and lets us transcend what we perceive as reality. And it helps us to connect to higher states of being. Pisces takes us into the realm of dreams, makes us super sensitive, and is also about compassion, vision, creativity. These are all Pisces words. Now, Neptune, which is the ruler of Pisces, meets up with the moon and makes the Piscean energy even stronger, very strong actually. It's a really very dreamy full moon, which can bring you lots of insights, sometimes even images. And the moon is always the peak of the lunar month and a culmination of energy. It's full manifestation, or something comes to light, something may be visible for you suddenly. So this would be an exceptional full moon to do some moon gazing and connecting to that higher state of consciousness to see what may come to light for you. It's very dreamy, and gazing at the moon always helps us to bring us in a higher state of being. Well, the full moon is always notorious for being very emotional, and in the watery sign of Pisces, this is even more so the case. So, and sometimes we may be literally overwhelmed by emotions. And as always, it is very important to not get swept away by these energies and use the inspirational energy constructively. We always have a choice in that matter. The sun is always opposite the moon at a full moon, and in this case the sun is still in Virgo. And this is great energy to put your creative ideas and your inspiration into practical manifestation. And Mars is still close to the sun, and this will give you this dose of perseverance and willpower, like I said before. So this is truly the energy of Martin Luther King saying, "I have a dream," and then following it by, "and I have a plan." It's great energy. It's a beautiful full moon. Now, just after the full moon, both Mercury and Venus will move into the sign of Libra. So Virgo season slowly starts to fade into Libra season. Then on the 18th of the month, we have another big event as Saturn will turn direct at 13 degrees of Capricorn. Saturn, also known as the Lord of Karma, has been retrograde since the end of April, so quite a long time. And in September, Saturn is also very close to the South Node in Capricorn. And the South Node is that of which we as a society want to move away from. And so this whole karma, Lord of Karma idea is quite strong during the whole month of September. And the Saturn in Capricorn theme is very much highlighted around the 18th of the month because of the change of gears of Saturn moving direct. Saturn is about responsibilities, discipline, doing things that are hard to do. I always give the example of a concert pianist. Plays so beautifully, but of course needs to play a lot of practice, thousands of hours of practice. It's hard to do, but the reward is beautiful. So in this time when Saturn moves direct again, we may be able to have the perseverance to start doing the things that are hard to do. But also stuff from the past may surface again, because it's the Lord of Karma. And the question that Saturn always asks us is, where am I ready for my next level? And depending on where Saturn is in your personal chart, that is the area where you are ready for your next level. It's about ripening. It's about almost getting more grown up. And if you want to start playing the concert, the piano, now could be a good time to actually start doing that. And if Saturn, for instance, falls in your second house, the issue could be about money and how you make money. How can I go to my next level regarding money and the way I make money? When it falls in your seventh house, it can be about relationship. Maybe your relationship needs to be going to another level. So it's very important to know where these astrological configurations fall for you in your personal chart. Now, because Saturn is now turning direct, it's followed by Pluto next month in October, we are slowly heading back into the build-up for the super conjunction of Saturn, Pluto and Jupiter in 2020. I've referred to this quite a bit and much more to follow about that in the coming months. But with the retrograde energy, it kind of faded in the last month, and now we're going straight for it. Then on the 23rd of September, the Sun joins Mercury and Venus in Libra, and we are officially in Libra season and in fall, at least here in the Northern Hemisphere. Now, day and night are equally long now, and we are slowly getting ready for the more darker days of the year up here in the north. Now, Libra is the sign of relationship, of balance, of harmony. And this is the time of year where you can always see that the animal kingdom is becoming extremely alert on its surroundings. That's very typically Libran, to become very alert of surroundings. And that is for them to start preparing for winter. And I guess after all that practical Virgo, let's get to work energy, we are now ready to connect to others, to strengthen your relationship and also get back to inner peace, because that is the ultimate goal of Libra, not being fully disturbed by the chaos outside, but keeping that inner equilibrium. On the 28th of the month, we have the new moon of this month at 5 degrees and 20 minutes of the sign of Libra. And it takes place at 8:26 in the evening here in Europe and at 11:26 a.m. in the morning at Pacific time. And this is another supermoon, which means that the moon is very close to Earth, making its energy very strong. The moon is really pulling at us at full moon and new moon, and it's even stronger when it's a supermoon, and we had already quite a few this year. Now, what is interesting about this full moon is that Chiron, the planet that we also call the wounded healer, is right opposite this new moon. And this gives us the opportunity to literally heal our relationships, because Libra is really very much about relationships. So this new moon might bring up some relationship wounds for you, which of course can be extremely painful when you're in it, but it also helps us to put things on the table and do something about it. And so we can heal. Now, Venus, the ruler of Libra, is also in Libra already, having interactions with both Saturn and Pluto in Capricorn, which gives a transforming and disciplinary feel to this relational new moon. And so the question is, how can we transform and renew and still keep our connection? That is really the question in this new moon. And also Mercury is in the mix, which might help us to ask the hard questions, especially because Mercury is in the mix there with Pluto, bringing stuff to the table in order to make things even better. And as always, new moons are new beginnings and is a fresh start of the lunar month. And if you know where 5 degrees and 20 minutes of Libra falls in your personal chart, you can even make it more specific, very much more personal, because then you can see in which area this new moon falls for you. What I always do is I write my intentions during the new moon, right after the new moon. And if you like to do this too, you can download my new moon ritual and astrological calendar. It's for free on my website. I will put a link here below. And so then we end the month of September, which astrologically is a lot more quiet than we have seen the energies in the past few months. And I think they're most welcome. But still, of course, like always, we have our challenges, but we also always have the choice to go for the more constructive sides of these energies. So wishing you a lovely, lovely month and hope to see you back in October. Bye.